Hey, good morning. Let's go over today's trade plan. So yesterday the markets closed near an important inflection point where responsive buyers have been active. At this point, heading into the open, we have initial resistance at 40.5 to 43, and how the market reacts to this area is going to provide an early indication of which side is really in control. So we've seen the buyers active near support overnight, but we do need to see a breakout above 40.5 to 43 in order for the buyers to confirm that they are indeed in control. The market has been very balanced over the last several days, and we know that it is setting up for a directional move. It's simply a matter of time. So, in the event that we do start seeing strong directional movement off the open today, just understand that the market has been extremely balanced, and if there is a directional move that gets triggered and we start going in one direction with a lot of momentum and the other markets participating, then you'll have to be careful taking any fade setups, so taking any setups that are counter to that direction. So as an example, if let's say we fail at 40.5 to 43 and we break below initial support with the other markets breaking their overnight lows as well, in that case, you'll have to be careful buying the support zones below because it could lead to a liquidation type scenario. A similar situation is active on the upside, but not quite to the same extent. So on the downside, there could be liquidation, but on the upside, we would still be very much within balance. So if we break out above 40.5 to 43, we could still get a reaction at 48.75 to 51.25. But, again, if we're going up on very strong momentum, it may not be the best setup. So the markets are in a very balanced state. There's really no major catalyst that can lead to a directional move today, but, sometimes you don't really need a catalyst. Simply the market structure is sufficient to, kick off a directional move. So that's something to be on the lookout for. It's not a prediction that it has to happen today, but if the underlying environment supports the idea in real time, then at least we're prepared for it. So 40.5 to 43 initial resistance, on the downside 31.5 to 33.5 initial support. We're going to be watching how the market reacts to this 40.5 to 43 area. It is resistance until broken, and if we can break out above it, then the market can go up to 48.75 to 51.25 and possibly even 56.5 to 58 and 60 to 62. Assuming that the underlying momentum and the broad market strength is really there. On the downside, if you break the initial support zone 31.5 to 33.5, with the other markets also participating, so with Nasdaq also breaking its overnight low, that's something that can trigger liquidation, and from there we can quite easily go down to 24.5, 26.5, 19.25, 21.25, possibly even down into the 13 to 15. So if the markets are liquidating below initial support, then like I said, you'll have to be careful going long, and it'll be better to get positioned in direction of that break and really try to ride that trend a bit lower, and only consider going long when the market is truly exhausted and we're testing a pretty decent support area. So even 19.25, 21.25 may not provide a reversal, because any move to the downside, especially from here, would mark a 5 to 6 day balance breakdown just in the S&P, and it would be about a 2-week balance breakdown in the Nasdaq. So in the event that we do start breaking down, we'll have to be very careful on going long, and we'll focus more on getting aboard the downside move and shorting the market. But until that directional move begins, one way or the other, up or down, the market is in a very balanced state. It's very two-sided. Our short-term directional bias continues to be neutral, and how the markets react over here at initial resistance, that's going to be a very good tell. How the market responds to the overnight low and initial support, that's going to be a very good tell. But we know that if we trigger to the downside there is potential for liquidation. If we break out to the upside, then we're still stuck in balance. We can still get reactions at the resistance zones above, but if we're going up on a lot of momentum, then there would be the possibility of going up to 56.5 to 58, and possibly even 60 to 62, depending on the momentum and volume we were seeing in the market. So those are the main ideas heading into the open. Let's see how ES reacts at the initial resistance zone, and we'll take it from there.